All right, ready to dive deep. Today, it's Ancient Indian Wisdom, Chapter 8 of the Bhagavad Gita.
Ooh, fascinating stuff.
Yeah, it's like finding a cosmic cheat sheet tucked away in the epic Mahabharata.
Right, right. With Arjuna, our warrior prince, having a bit of an existential crisis on the battlefield.
Exactly, and it's amazing how these questions from thousands of years ago still resonate with us today.
Don't they, though? It's like, what happens after we die? How do we find peace in all this chaos?
And it's so relatable because it's written as this dialogue
Yeah.
between Arjuna and Krishna.
Yeah.
So Arjuna's freaking out, questioning everything.
Understandable.
And then Krishna, who is like the avatar of God,
Right.
steps in as this wise teacher.
Totally.
So let's break it down. Arjuna's facing this massive battle, and it hits him. What's the point of it all?
Yeah.
What happens when we die? The big questions.
That's big ones.
And Krishna doesn't just offer some simple answers. He brings in some seriously mind-blowing concepts.
Oh, absolutely. Like Brahman.
Yeah, Brahma.
The ultimate reality, the source of everything.
Wow.
And then there's Adhyatman.
Okay.
That's the individual soul.
Right.
Like a spark of the divine Brahman.
I see.
And of course, we can't forget karma, that idea that our actions shape our journey.
Not just in this life.
No, in future lives too.
Whoa. So it's like we're all mini versions of Brahman running around.
In a way, yeah.
And everything we do creates this ripple effect.
It's a pretty intense thought, isn't it?
It is. It's like we're creating our future with every choice.
Exactly. And it's not just about this one little life.
It's about understanding ourselves as part of something much bigger.
Something eternal.
Okay, so where does death fit into all of this?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Krishna explains that death isn't the end, but a transition.
Like a doorway.
Yeah, exactly. He uses this vivid image of the soul shedding its body.
Shedding its body.
Like an old garment, and then journeying to a realm that aligns with its actions.
So where we end up after death?
It depends on how we lived our lives.
Makes sense.
Right. And he talks about those who focus on the divine.
Yeah.
They merge back with Brahman.
Okay.
But those who are attached to worldly desires, well, they're drawn to different realms.
So our thoughts and actions literally create our reality.
It's a powerful concept.
It is, both now and in the afterlife.
Exactly.
So what can we actually do with this knowledge? Does Krishna give us any practical advice?
He does. He outlines paths to liberation, ways to break free from this cycle of death and rebirth.
Okay.
He talks about meditation, devotion, selfless action.
So many options.
Emphasizing that there isn't one right path. It's about what resonates with you.
Finding what works for you.
Exactly. Not just blindly following rules.
But aligning your actions with your understanding of the divine.
It's a journey of self-discovery.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, but what about this unmanifest life that Krishna mentions? I'm a little confused about that one.
Ah, yes. That's like the ultimate goal, the big prize.
Okay.
Think of it as life beyond our senses, beyond change and death.
Beyond death.
Pure being, complete union with Brahman.
So becoming one with everything.
Exactly. It's a hard concept to fully grasp,
Yeah.
But it speaks to that longing we all have for something more.
For something bigger than ourselves.
Exactly.
Wow, that's a lot to unpack. I feel like we've only just scratched the surface here.
Yeah.
But before we go any further, let's take a moment to let all of that sink in.
Take a deep breath.
Yeah. When we come back, we'll explore some specific passages and see how this ancient wisdom can apply to our lives today.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we're back and ready to dig a bit deeper into this idea of liberation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Krishna lays out these different paths: meditation, devotion, selfless action. What do those actually look like in practice?
Well, it's interesting because Krishna doesn't give you a step-by-step guide.
Right.
He acknowledges that people are different. They have different, tendencies.
Your personalities and inclinations.
Yeah. So what matters is finding a path that lets you connect with the divine in a way that feels genuine, meaningful for you.
So it's not about forcing yourself into some kind of box, but about finding what resonates with you.
Exactly. Yeah. And he really emphasizes that the journey is just as important as the destination.
Right.
It's about cultivating self-awareness, understanding your motivations, and constantly trying to align your actions with truth and goodness as you understand them.
Makes me think of that passage where Krishna talks about the moment of death.
Oh, yeah?
He says, "And at the hour of death, he that hath meditated me alone, in putting off his flesh, comes forth to me, enters into my being, doubt thou not." It's powerful, right?
Super powerful imagery.
Yeah.
And it speaks to, the power of focused intention, where your mind is focused in those final moments, shapes your destiny. But it's not just about death, right? It's about how we live our lives every single day.
Every day.
Are we cultivating thoughts and actions that align with that ultimate goal?
With that desire to merge back with the divine.
Exactly.
So we're creating our reality.
Moment by moment.
Through our choices, our intentions.
That's the idea.
Wow.
And even if we, mess up or stray from the path, there's always a chance to course correct.
Right.
To come back to that center.
But Krishna also acknowledges that not everyone will have that same focus at the time of death.
That's true.
Right. There's that line where he says, but if he meditated otherwise, at hour of death, in putting off the flesh, he goes to what he looked for. So it's like our desires, our attachments, they can pull us in different directions.
Absolutely, yeah. The things we cling to, the thoughts that dominate our minds, they shape our journey both in this life and beyond. It's almost like our souls are fashioned to their like, as Krishna puts it.
Oh, wow.
So if we want lasting peace, liberation, it makes sense that we need to cultivate thoughts and actions that are in harmony with those qualities.
So it's not just about what we believe, it's about how we live.
Right.
Our actions are constantly shaping our inner landscape.
Shaping our very being.
Yeah.
It's a profound concept, and it can feel a bit daunting. But there's also a sense of empowerment knowing that we have a say in shaping our destiny, that our choices actually matter.
Okay, so we've got this, individual journey of the soul, but then Krishna brings in this whole other layer, the cyclical nature of existence with Brahma's day and night.
Right.
I gotta admit, that one's a little hard to wrap my head around.
It's mind-blowing, isn't it?
It is.
He's talking about these vast cycles of time where even worlds are born and destroyed over and over again.
It really puts our human lifespan into perspective.
It does. Makes our worries seem a bit smaller.
A bit smaller, yeah.
But even amidst all this change and impermanence, Krishna points to something unchanging, eternal.
Okay, this is where the unmanifest comes in.
Exactly.
Okay.
He says, but higher, deeper, innermost abides another life, not like the life of sense, escaping sight, unchanging. This endures when all created things have passed away. This is that life named the unmanifest, the infinite, the all, the uttermost.
But even though everything around us is constantly changing, there's this underlying reality that's beyond it all.
Yeah, and that's what we're ultimately seeking to connect with. It's the source from which everything arises and to which everything returns. That state of pure being, complete unity with the divine.
Krishna describes it as the ultimate homecoming.
Exactly, the ultimate homecoming.
It's an incredible concept, but also kind of abstract, hard to grasp.
It is.
How can we understand something that's beyond our senses, beyond our human experience?
Well, that's where the practices come in.
Okay.
Like meditation, for example. It's a way to quiet the mind, create space for a deeper awareness.
I see.
Devotion is about cultivating a loving relationship with the divine, opening your heart to that connection. And selfless action, it's about moving beyond ego.
Yeah. Acting in service to something greater than yourself.
So these practices are like tools to help us access that deeper reality.
They are. They're a way to bridge the gap between our limited human understanding and the infinite nature of Brahman.
Okay.
And as we cultivate these practices, we start to shift our perspective. We see the world differently. We relate to ourselves and others differently.
This is so much more than just reading an ancient text.
It is.
It's like a whole new way of seeing the world.
A whole new way of being.
Of understanding our place in it, but how do we take all this and make it relevant to our lives today? We're not warrior princes on a battlefield.
That's a great question, and one we'll explore more, because while the context may be different, the challenges we face, the questions we wrestle with, they're surprisingly similar to Arjuna's. And the wisdom Krishna offers, it's timeless.
Timeless, yeah.
Universally applicable.
All right, so we've been on this incredible journey through Chapter 8 of the Bhagavad Gita.
It's been quite a journey, exploring all these profound ideas about the soul, death, the unmanifest.
Yeah.
But I think the question a lot of us have is, how does this ancient wisdom apply to our modern life?
Right. Like, how do we actually live this?
Exactly.
And I think that's one of the most powerful things about the Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
It gives us practical guidance alongside these big philosophical ideas.
So it's not just about, thinking about these concepts.
Yeah.
It's about integrating them into our lives.
Living them. Yeah.
Okay, so how do we do that?
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in the everyday stuff and lose sight of the bigger picture.
It's definitely a practice.
Yeah.
And it takes effort, consistent effort. But one thing Krishna really stresses is cultivating certain qualities.
Right.
Selflessness, compassion, detachment.
So shifting our focus from like our own desires to a more selfless way of being.
Exactly. It's recognizing that we're all connected.
Mm-hmm.
Our actions have consequences, not just for us, but for everyone, for the world around us.
But how do we balance that with, taking care of ourselves, our goals, our ambitions?
Yeah, it's not about abandoning those things.
Okay.
It's about approaching them with a different mindset.
Different how?
With a sense of purpose that goes beyond just personal gain.
So finding a balance between taking action.
Yes.
But also letting go of the outcome.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it. Acting with intention, awareness, but also with a sense of surrender.
Just surrender.
Yeah, to the divine will, trusting that things will unfold as they should.
That's hard.
It is. It is.
Makes me think of that passage where Krishna describes seeing his effulgence.
Oh, yes.
That radiant light that dispels the darkness. He says those who have seen it have experienced right life.
Powerful image, right?
It is. And I think it speaks to the power of connecting with the divine.
Absolutely.
Recognizing that spark of divinity within ourselves.
Within all of creation.
So it's not about blindly following rules.
No.
But about cultivating a deep inner connection.
Yeah, to something greater than ourselves.
To something bigger.
Tapping into that awe and wonder, that interconnectedness.
It's almost like this whole chapter is a call to wake up.
It is a call to wake up.
To see the world with new eyes.
To live with more intention.
And purpose.
Exactly.
I feel like I've gained a whole new perspective on the Bhagavad Gita.
Me too.
It's not just some ancient text.
No.
It's a loving source of wisdom. It speaks to the human experience.
It really does.
So to everyone listening, if you're feeling inspired by this, I encourage you to explore the Bhagavad Gita for yourselves.
You might be surprised.
Yeah, you might be surprised by how relevant it is to our lives today.
And remember, this journey of self-discovery, the spiritual growth, it's a lifelong process.
It is.
And the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, they can be like a compass.
Guiding us.
Yeah, guiding us towards a more fulfilling, meaningful life.
Beautifully said.
Yeah.
Until next time, fellow knowledge seekers, keep exploring, keep questioning.
Keep seeking.
Keep seeking that spark of divinity within yourselves and in the world around you.